Report, the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report, man. Make sure you support the movement at blackfoxnews.com/shop. Go ahead and get you some gear. You know what I'm saying? I know you feeling this royal blue right here, but we got in different colors and sizes too. You know what I mean? Different shit, different types of gear and all of that, whatever. Like, something is in there that's gonna match your wardrobe. Definitely give us a shot, support us as we continue to support y'all. Now, back like we never left. Check this out though. They had the vice presidential debate last night between Senator Kamala Harris, Cali senator, and Vice President Mike Pence, right? So you had, of course, they talked about everything from climate change, the Supreme Court, institutional racism, etc., etc. Kamala started it off talking about how there's like 210,000 people dead from that COVID-19 shit. You know what I mean? How the president, this White House has done an awful job and in dealing with that. 1 in 5 businesses closed down. 30 million people done filed for unemployment in the last several months or whatever. So she came out swinging, and apparently, a lot of the consensus is that Mike Pence wasn't really answering questions well. Kamala Harris, she was giving that, she just had that black woman aura about him. You know what I mean? That whole don't cut me off when I'm talking. That intelligent black woman aura about him, where you ain't taking no nonsense, no fuck shit. But nevertheless, still between the Democratic and the Republican Party, ain't the graduation party. You feel me? And make sure y'all check out my debate against President Trump and Joe Biden. You can find that on right now it's on Instagram. They're giving us a hard time on YouTube, but you can check it out on Instagram. You'll see it in our IGTV series, Graduation Party Presidential Debates, or GP Presidential Debates. Nevertheless, they actually had the debate last night. They were 12 feet apart and separated by 2 plexiglass after Pence had been at multiple White House events unmasked, and since then, Trump has actually tested positive for COVID-19 and a bunch of White House staffers. So, they had to take those precautions. A spokesperson for Pence has repeatedly said that, Pence has tested negative for COVID-19, but it's still well within the 14-day incubation period, where you're supposed to separate yourself after contact with somebody who has that shit. Nevertheless, it's he did have a crazy, his left eye was fucking red and it was crying and tearing up and all of that, whatever. So people are speculating that he has viral conjunctivitis, which is an uncommon side effect of COVID-19. So him being diseased isn't off the table. I think I just don't think you can really trust anything coming from out of the White House or whatever. Obviously, so I don't know. We'll see how that goes down. And there was a fly on this dude's head. You know what I'm saying? People got all sorts of memes about it, man. Look that shit up, yo, because even on Black Fox News page, there's some funny shit out there. Green War on Graduation. Streets reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So, we in this COVID-19 times, you know what I mean? Still a pandemic going on. Still numbers rising with these COVID-19 cases, and the numbers even rose in the White House. We have a whole fucking president of the United States, and Donald J. Trump, that's actually sick with COVID-19. But nevertheless, he went back to work yesterday. He's back in the Oval Office. I ain't gonna say he stopped working. I mean, because most of his job has seemed to be just him running his mouth, talking out his fucking neck. But that's beside the point. And let's get to the news. He actually returned to the Oval Office. The chief of staff, Mark Meadows, and his assistant, Dan Scavino, had actually met with Trump, and they went full protective gear. We talking about gloves, face masks, gowns, and all of that shit. And them having to deal with him. But Trump's personal lawyer, Sean Connolly, actually said that Dr. Sean Connolly said that Trump is in good condition, and he's doesn't require any oxygen and all of that, whatever. How good of a condition could you be in when you got to tell people that? You know what I mean? But nevertheless, you're talking about a virus that actually had him really ill over the weekend, and he's likely still contagious, highly contagious. But he out there in the White House. We'll see how this turns out. Now, his schedule is clear. No more rallies for the rest of the year and all of that, whatever. He even trying to get out of doing this next debate, really, because they want to make it virtual, and he ain't trying to do all of that or whatever. So I don't know what's going on with that. But with all this time on his hands, he apparently was just on Twitter going off, 50 tweets. It said he did within the 2-hour period. talking about, being partisan as he has been. You know what I'm saying? Sowing more division within the country. The usual shit, whatever. He even came at the FDA talking about that's a political act of them, basically trying to be sure that you can't just throw any vaccine out in the market and trying to put rules to ensure that, there's no emergency releases that aren't like really vetted properly. But nevertheless, that's what's going on. You can honestly kind of say you could have predicted this, or some of this is the same old. Green War and graduation. Report of the New World, though the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News report, man. I take this title very seriously, and I gotta document all of these, or the times that we are in, because it's some foul, crazy shit going on that you would never expect to happen any other time other than the end of the world. Now we have Trump, who actually, I told y'all how he went back to the White House, whatever. But they actually released a tape yesterday that apparently was done on Tuesday. It was pre-recorded, so who knows how many takes it took for them to get this right. But he looked like, kind of, short of breath, and he ain't looking tip-top shape, but he over there talking about, how he feels great and he feels perfect. When he start using words like that, he capping, right? But nevertheless, he said that he was basically promoting this drug called Regeneron, this antibody cocktail that he was taking basically to treat his COVID-19 treatments and symptoms, pardon me, and was promoting it as like, he's gonna make it he's gonna make it available to all Americans and free of charge. Now, let me tell you something. Regeneron is named after the company that made it. It's still in clinical trials. Like, you shouldn't even really be making it necessarily available to everybody. Like, it's still, only 10 people have taken it outside of clinical trials. Trump being one of them, I guess. Maybe or maybe not. Maybe he is part of the clinical trial, But nevertheless, this is why it's important to know his taxes, because who knows if he's just pumping gas in this fucking product and company, just, for the money. Like, seriously, you hundreds of M's in debt, you might do, and you already got sellout habits, you might do some shit like this. Nevertheless, even with COVID-19, though, with this cocktail being done, he's keep in mind that his care during the weekend when he contracted it was actually valued at $100,000, even though it was free of charge to him. And he was called out by that. Like, of course, Bernie Sanders is on there talking about, like, the hypocrisy. He actually tweeted something on, like, this is everything that you got for treatment was like 100% funded by the government or whatever. Like, Trump like socialized medicine for himself, but for everyone else, no. Like, that's hypocrisy. And dude is right, actually. But nevertheless, even with while that was going on, he still apparently has been going back and forth with the legislature about like a COVID-19 relief bill, and actually had vetted the talks for a relief bill until after the election, but then reversed that call. So it's funny business going on with this man. But what does seem clear is that he does not have the interest of the people in mind. We ain't going graduation. Report of the New World, though the Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News report. So ABC News, they actually retrieved this memo from FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency, branch of the government. They supposed to help people with natural disasters. Remember, they botched the whole Hurricane Katrina thing, or did they? You know what I mean? Because it was a bunch of black people. They might have been trying to kill us or whatever. Nevertheless, the ABC News got this memo from them that showed that 34 people in the White House have so far tested positive for COVID-19. Like, what I'm saying? That number could be rising. Trump got it, and these motherfuckers is mostly Republican, have been going to all of these rallies and events or whatever with no mask and no social distancing. So, press secretary, keep in mind on Sunday, press secretary Kayleigh McEnany, however the fuck you pronounce that last name, McEnany, whatever. She actually said that they are no longer going to report on the White House spread of the COVID-19. I guess maybe they don't want to reduce panic. That might or might not be a bad idea, but nevertheless, keep in mind that this is a outbreak that has been taking place already, apparently, because Creed Bailey, the head of the White House Security Office, has actually been, according to Bloomberg News or whatever, like crazy, like dumb sick, and been hospitalized since September, even though the White House did not disclose this information. You also have Democratic Congressmember Salud Carvajal, who actually said he tested positive for COVID-19 and likely got it from his next door neighbor, Utah Senator Mike Lee, who was actually at the event that was celebrating the nomination for Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barnett, who was picked by Trump to be in the Supreme Court, whatever. All these people was out there, you know what I mean, at that event, and you know, unmasked, shaking hands and all that, whatever. So you also have other people at that event that's been sick. You have Chris Christie, former governor of New Jersey, who actually has been hospitalized. No news on his condition, but you know, he got that COVID-19. Keep in mind, you have Rudy Giuliani, Trump's personal lawyer and former mayor of New York City. He's saying he's gonna try this hydroxychloroquine cocktail, you know what I mean, for preventative measures, because he hasn't apparently tested positive for COVID-19, but he's going to test again this Friday. But you know, after being around a bunch of people like Kellyanne Conway, Chris Christie, and a bunch of other people, whatever, who actually have had it. Nevertheless, Giuliani though, on Sunday or the day before, this was on Tuesday where he said he was going to do that, but the day before, on Monday, he actually was on this Fox News interview, coughing throughout the whole interview, you know what I'm saying? So these motherfuckers are sickly at the end of the day. I wouldn't trust none of them, you know what I mean? You know, just to be safe. Like, that's like the wise thing to do, nah? But I'm sure a lot of y'all MAGA lovers is going to do it. But, you know what I mean? This is no hate coming from Bishop Grady. Like, I would advise y'all not to. Be wise, man. Green War and Graduation. Reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report, man. Make sure you check out blackfoxnews.com/LPAI. That's LPAI, an acronym for Let's Post About It. That is a social media platform where we actually get to talk about a bunch of things, from politics to even sports or anything that you got going on, any grievances you got with the channel. Definitely check out the Graduation Party section so we can really talk about some politics. And you can upload videos, share YouTube videos, documentation, all sorts of things that you can't do on these other social media platforms, man. I'm telling you, it's bomb. So once we get on there, we can actually have some real heavy conversation about things we need to have as a community, whether that be the black community, the hip-hop community, or the American community, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's actually get together, get on the same page, and share some knowledge and graduate, you know what I'm saying? Now check this out though, the White House actually, according to the Daily Beast, they on the low had to tell this veterans group known as Gold Star that their family members may have been exposed to COVID-19 after this event that they had on September 27th in the East Room of the White House, where they packed all these motherfuckers in there, basically, and it was hosted by Mike Pence and Donald Trump. You know, Mike Pence got the fucking bleeding eye. I ain't say it's bleeding, but it's like, you know what I mean, red and crying or whatever at the debate last night. And, you know, Trump, you know, he was hospitalized with this shit, had to pay $100 grand worth, had to have $100 grand worth of treatment done in order to save his ass. So, you know what I mean? So they had to tell him that or whatever. So, mind you, these people were packed in this room, shoulder to shoulder. So no social distancing and no mask. Now, as much as I want to say shame on the White House, that's shame on them motherfuckers. It's shame on anybody that's just blindly following this Republican administration. And you know, you got to be able to tell when people is telling the truth and when they're not. A lot of these people were elderly. So you've been on this planet long enough to where you should be able to know if somebody bullshitting you or not. So you ain't got no excuse. So, you know what I mean? You get what you deserve out here, man. Green War and Graduation. Reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So where we are with COVID-19 in the United States of America, right? You were talking about 52,000 new infections reported on Wednesday alone. You're talking about a death toll that's approaching 212,000, and nearly 500,000 U.S. residents who've been hospitalized since the start of this pandemic, since the pandemic actually hit the U.S. Now, you're also talking about, right now, you had, you know, you have seeing spikes all across the country in Wisconsin. Governor Tony Evans. This is allergy season too. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got that Rona. Fuck out of here. But nevertheless, you got Tony Evans, the governor of Wisconsin, who actually had to put a ban on public gatherings. put an emergency ban on public gatherings. It's like hospitals over there are like being overwhelmed. Over in Boston, they actually suspended the start of public schools over there still. So in October, kids not in school, you know what I mean? So shit is looking crazy. Then over in New York, the Orthodox Jewish community actually was at odds with Governor Andrew Cuomo, who put new restrictions on places of worship, and it actually led to protests that turned violent. You had Orthodox people that was, you know what I mean, lighting fires and waving Trump flags, and they even pounced on this Jewish journalist. So it's like, man, shit is crazy. When it comes to worship, I mean, can't you worship anywhere? Like God said, wherever, in the Bible at least, you know, God said wherever there are, you know, wherever there are two people congregating in my name, you know, I am there. Like that's church right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. I might have paraphrased it. I didn't quote it exactly, but you know, you don't need a place of worship to worship God or to be right with God. So that to me doesn't seem smart. And they waving Trump flags. What the fuck does Trump have to do? Bring war on graduation. Streets reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. For the first time in its 208-year history, the New England Journal of Medicine has actually called on people to denounce a Trump presidency. Basically, they picked a political side, or chose to be against a political side, talking about how, like, you know, the people in the White House have demonstrated that they are, you know, dangerously incompetent. You know what I mean? We can't afford to keep allowing thousands of people to, you know, die or have their lives in danger due to the decisions made by this White House. So, you know, this is the second time. I believe the first publication to actually do that for their first time ever was, I believe, was it Science Direct? Am I saying it right? Or I think Science, the Science magazine. Either way, the medical community is speaking out, man. Like, people can see through the bullshit. It's that bad to where motherfuckers who are supposed to be impartial have to be partial. Bring war on graduation. This reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report, man. I told you the medical community is really going crazy over how the White House is handling this COVID-19 situation. So you have the former head of the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, the former head of the CDC, William Foles, who's actually urging the current head of the CDC, Robert Redfield. This is the dude who actually had testified in the Senate here and saying that, you know, really we could beat this thing out if we, you know, wear the mask, have mask mandates 8, 10, 12 weeks, you know what I mean? It's going to be more effective than a virus, than a vaccine and all of that, whatever. Nevertheless, he's urging him to actually get himself fired, to orchestrate his own firing out of protest against the White House. Now, this was in a letter that was dated September 23rd and obtained by USA Today. And you have Foles that's basically saying that, you know, you have to, the way that things are, the White House's refusal to allow the CDC to take charge has resulted in a violation of, like, you know, every rule that, you know, they've actually followed for the last 75 years that has made the CDC the gold standard for public health in the world. And, you know, a firing will create a multi-week story and, you know, you can hold your head high, that type of shit, whatever. But, you know, Redfield probably ain't trying to hear that shit. 30 million plus people done filed for unemployment or whatever. He ain't trying to be one of them, you know what I'm saying? And you want Trump shitless, because at the end of the day, how things are going with the courthouses and the military and even the Senate, I mean, it's still red town in the United States. It is. Bring war on graduation. Report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News report. So over in Harris County, Texas, the Supreme Court of Texas actually ruled that Harris County officials cannot mail out mail-in ballots to all 2.4 million registered voters there. Now, keep in mind, this is the most populous county in Texas. This is the county actually holds Houston or whatever. So, you know, obviously this is seeming real, like, even though Texas is considered a red state, this is a Democratic area, so it's seeming like a political attack. Nevertheless, that's a lot of people that are not going to be able to do mail-in ballots due to them not mailing it out, whatever. So we'll see how that turns out. These would be, I mean, I think there's still a way to get mail-in ballots, but this is a heads up to everybody that be following Black Fox News out there in Texas, man. Make sure Hit them polls if you feel like that's what's important to you. You already know how we cooking. Green War and Graduation on. What other New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News Report. So in Northern Cali, you had the August complex fire that's been burning for weeks now, whatever. It's actually become the state's first giga fire to burn over 1 million acres of land. We're talking about enough land that's actually larger than the state of Rhode Island. So this means this could have burnt off a whole fucking state. You know what I'm saying? Now, also over in the San Francisco Bay Area, they actually put out a spare the air alert after their air quality index topped 100, which is like an unhealthy reading, meaning that there's basically too much fucking smoke in the air due to the nearby glass fire. So that's where you have it, man. Keep positive, send out positive thoughts and prayers to them people in Cali going through that shit right now, man. Green War and Graduation. Report of the New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News Report. So new climate data actually shows that September was basically the hottest month on the hottest September ever, edging out last year. Last September of September 2019, which was then the hottest September ever. We're talking about global surface temperatures on average throughout the world were the hottest. And also you're talking about Arctic sea levels were actually at the second lowest ever recorded or throughout last month. Basically, as carbon dioxide temperatures actually reached a level of 410 parts per million. This is far above pre-industrial averages, you know what I'm saying? So these are the averages that existed before the industrial revolution and all of that. Basically saying we came a long way to pollute the fuck out of this planet, and that's where we at. Green War and Graduation. Report of the New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News Report. So over in Athens, Greece, they actually had a court that decided that the political organization Golden Dawn is actually a criminal organization, tying them to a bunch of attacks on migrants and on left-wing activists apparently. Now this ends a 5-year investigation, and you have the Guardian, the media outlet. They're saying that this is the largest prosecution or judgment against far-right organizations since the Nuremberg trials, you know what I mean? Them Nazi motherfuckers or whatever. You have the Prime Minister of Greece, Mitsotakis, actually saying that this is actually like, this it puts an end to like a public life cycle that was seen as like dangerous, and basically it prevents the formation of the Nazi party within Parliament. So now they could go, they can move on to like just better times or whatever. So that's what's going down. This could have a lot of implications on far right organizations all throughout Europe. Shit, maybe even in the United States, because I know I'm gonna bring that shit up, because a lot of y'all Trump motherfuckers and how y'all moving, it's looking real Nazi like. Green War and Graduation. Support of the New World Order Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News Report. So y'all remember Jacob Blake, who was actually shot in the back 7 times by Kenosha police out there in Milwaukee. Well, he's left the hospital after 6 weeks and being in there or whatever, and is now in a spinal rehabilitation center. These cops had shot him up, could have killed him or whatever with all them bullets, but nevertheless, this did happen after a little scuffle that happened on one side of the car, but then he goes to the passenger side of the driver's side of the car to go into his car, and that's when they shot his back up or whatever. And it's like, man, that is the only way they could have handled that. Get the fuck out of here. Nevertheless, it wouldn't happen to no white man, but or the chances of that happening to a white man was so far less likely, because don't get it twisted. White people out here getting shot up too. Nevertheless, that happened. Also, in the realm of police brutality against black people, Derek Chauvin actually posted a $1 million bail. This was the dude that actually had his knee on George Floyd's neck for like 8-9 minutes or whatever, killing that man. And in a video that was seen around the world, $1 million bail. Now he's out in the streets. Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, Minneapolis, Minnesota actually had condemned the National Guard actually coming down on the hundreds of protesters that actually marched to the 5th police precinct protesting the release of Derek Chauvin. Green War and Graduation.